Go with that accountability partner. That can help too.
Yeah. Or no, if your partner is the opposite of an accountability partner. And don't do
Right.
that.
Tell them to stay home.
Yeah. What is the perfect bite? That mix of flavors, textures, colors, and aromas that come together in one amazing amuse-bouche. Big ideas expressed in small bites. That's our podcast, a variety of inspiring topics to make your financial goals and dreams a reality.
Brought to you by Clark County Credit Union for your weekly serving of food reviews, financial education, and life hacks that your future self will appreciate. It's the perfect bite of interesting information to start your week. Welcome to episode 99 of The Perfect Bite. I'm Crystal Price.
And I'm Shannon Hiller. Let's dig in.
We love trying new dishes here at The Perfect Bite, and today we're talking about pasta mia. Next, we're going to talk about how to stop spending money, and finally, we're going to give 10 tips for taking great pictures.
So each week on The Perfect Bite, we'll visit a locally owned Southern Nevada restaurant that we hope will become your new favorite. And this week, we're sharing one that one of our coworkers suggested, Pasta Mia. And we went there for lunch as a team, and we all tried different stuff, so we can talk about maybe some of the things that we really liked. But basically, it's just like this classic Italian restaurant. You walk in, there's like the white linen tablecloths, and just smelled delicious. Like you could just smell the garlic bread as soon as you walked in. You just knew you were like in good hands, like it's going to be a good place. And Crystal, you weren't able to join us that time, but we really enjoyed everything. Like one of our coworkers got the spaghetti and meatballs. There's a lunch menu. So if you check out the prices for dinner, they are like a little bit higher, like
bigger
25,
portions. Okay.
25. But then for lunch, it was more like $12 to $15 a plate for lunch. I got the chicken angelo, which is chicken breast with artichoke hearts, mushrooms, and olives in a light white wine sauce. So there wasn't any pasta with that. It was just a really, really good sauce. You could get a pasta on the side if you wanted, or a salad. And so I ate everything. It was so good. We got garlic bread for the table. Linguine was ordered as well with pasta Alfredo. I mean, we had lots of different options.
All the pastas.
Lasagna looked delicious with like fresh mozzarella on top, melted in. My jealousy for cheese was high and strong that day that I couldn't have it. So yeah, if you aren't having, some dietary restrictions, this might not be the best place for you. But I did see at the bottom of the menu that they had gluten-free pasta.
Oh,
so if someone was gluten-free, that would be a good choice for you to add. We had a great time. We had a nice round table where we all got to talk, and just good environment. It wasn't really loud or, just nice music and just a pleasant environment. So I would definitely go back, especially if you love just like classic Italian food. Not a lot of frills, but
not Olive Garden.
Not Olive Garden. Yeah, a step above for sure. Just lots of good choices. There was chicken piccata was another one that I was thinking about ordering, which is sauteed mushrooms with chicken in a marsala wine sauce. So just classics, right? And then a few unique twists. So I would definitely recommend going back. If you have a recommendation for a dish or restaurant for us to try, send us a message at ThePerfectBite@CCCULV.com. We would love to hear from you. Up next, we're sharing how making small changes can help to stop spending so much money. So resisting the urge to spend your money impulsively or necessarily is crucial for maintaining financial health and achieving long-term financial goals. And today we're sharing some ways to help you resist the urge. And I feel this urge. So this is a great lesson for me too. Sometimes you're just like, I deserve this little treat, or I deserve this thing. And so taking away that, it's like we need to look at how we can actually achieve these goals, and impulse buys just really aren't going to serve you if you have these financial goals. So number one, shop with purpose or intention. If you're at the grocery store, just stick to your list and you can avoid overspending. And for me, I find that ordering groceries online and doing pickup or delivery helps me to avoid any of those impulse buys. I don't go off my list. I set a menu and I just order from that. And even if I did have an impulse buy, it's much more minimal than if I'd been in the store. Like my husband at Costco,
and
you're just like $10, $15. Oh, cute. What is that? And you're just like putting it in your cart, and all of a sudden it's easily $100 that you've added to your budget that you didn't really mean to spend that day. So I think that doing it online really helps me. And I think if you are like an old school, like have a list, just be like, this is what I came for. On the prize.
I've definitely gone to the store and I'm like, I'm just going to buy like bread and tomatoes. And then I come back and I've got like 15 items. And like, 15 items nowadays is like $100 probably. So yeah, stay
Sometimes
on track.
I won't get a cart at all. And then I'm like, okay, I'm coming in
hold
for
it.
those 2 items. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy more. And then, I'm kind of holding all this stuff. Maybe I bought more than I intended, but I didn't buy as much as if I'd had a whole
or
cart.
go with like an accountability partner. Sometimes if I go shopping with my husband, he'll like rein me in, like, what are you doing? And it's funny, just a couple days ago, I was shopping with Violet, my 4-year-old. We were buying summer stuff. We went into the store, went to Target for towels, and she was going to get a bathing suit. That was all we were going to get. And I'm starting to pick up stuff. And Violet, my little girl, I was picking up a dress for her. And she's like, Mommy, remember you said you're not going to go crazy? And I'm like, you're right, Violet. And I put it back. So go with that accountability partner. That can help too.
Yeah. Or no, if your partner is the opposite of an accountability partner. And don't do that.
Right. Tell them to stay home.
Yeah. Number 2, get creative. Getting used to preparing meals at home can be a challenge, but there's so many great recipes out there, so many ideas. I keep on my Instagram. I create a little collection of recipes. When I see one pop up, I'm like, okay, add it to the collection for recipes. And then I'll go back and look at that later. If people send you something, just, save it there as well. And then also just get creative of using things that you already have. Maybe you don't need to buy something new. So for example, do I need that cell phone stand for my desk? I can just probably prop it up with a few books, see my messages coming in. Your toddler wants to try the drums. Oh gosh, don't do that. But anyway, before you invest in that, try, some spoons in an old pot or the old, Quaker oatmeal container. That's a great drum that they can learn on. And then right now at my home computer, I have a few reams of paper that are propping up my computer. It's not like I don't have a computer stand.
Okay,
I just have my laptop on top of reams of paper, and I already had those. So anyway, just get creative with items that you already own. I think about things the kids need for school or costumes. Sometimes those are the best things if you just look for what you already have. Number 3, clean up your social feeds. This is a big one for me because I think sometimes we get influenced. We see what's out there and we're like, oh, I want to get that. And once you look at one ad, it just keeps appearing. You. Yeah. And you just almost want to buy it. So it stops appearing in your feed. So, reducing your scroll time, avoiding these marketing traps, in certain ads in your app. You can even say I don't want to follow this brand anymore, or I don't want to see this ad anymore.
Yeah. And
then it can help you avoid that temptation. I also set app limits for social media. Now I'm an adult. I can override those. I know the code, but it just gives me a little bling, wow, you've reached your limit and maybe you should take a break. Mm-hmm. And so even if I do override it or need to access something for work, we do social media for our jobs, it just still puts a little reminder in my head okay, you've been on here long enough. Mm-hmm. Number 4, make a budget. We've talked about this again, but just take a look at your budget for the last 3 months and almost like an actual, not a budget. So what have I spent my money on and where am I spending the most? And then decide how you could cut back and set that budget. We talk a lot about the 50-30-20 rule. So I'm going to, save, spend, donate, or invest and have those ratios set out. We have a link to help you learn this method on our website through Banzai, which is a free financial resource. And then number 5, find your big why. This is a great one for any kind of goal, I think, but finding out what your bigger reason is helps you be so intentional and helps you work towards those goals. Because if your goal is to spend less, why? Is it just, I know I'm supposed to do this. I'm going to be a frugal person. I'm going to change my whole personality and become frugal. It's no, maybe I'm saving because I want to have this vacation or I want to eventually buy a home. It was amazing to me when I decided I wanted to buy a home, how quickly I actually was able to save for a down payment because I put everything I would spend money on in perspective of I want this house. Yeah. And so all of a sudden it was I don't need to go shopping. I don't need to buy a new outfit for this. Nope, I'm not going to go out to eat tonight. And I just really was truly amazed that I all the time had this much money. Not that I was, had a ton, but at the time I was wow, I always felt just tight on money and I thought I could never buy a house. But when I really started to put that as my big why, it really was a secret for me spending less. And so I think that you can find your why and the same can happen for you. Let's take a break to hear from our sponsor.
CCCU has a bonus for you. High five! It's 5% interest on a bonus checking account, only available at Clark County Credit Union. That's 5% on your money, and it's just one more benefit of membership at Clark County Credit Union. Isn't it time for you to join? Anyone can be a member, because if somebody's making money off your checking account, shouldn't it be you? Open a bonus checking account today and start earning your 5%, only at CCCU. Funds privately insured by American Share Insurance.
Next up is our Future Self segment inspired by the Happiness Project. Everyone is a photographer with their phones in their hands at all times, but we can all use these simple picture-taking tips to make our photos look better and professionally taken. So here are a couple of tips from Kodak to help you take great photos. First tip is to always look at your subject in the eye. So to create more inviting and personal feeling when people look at your photos is to hold the camera at the person's eye level. So no, like the selfie, arm above, nothing like that, or way down low. No, look at them head on, straight in the eye, and then you'll really kind of convey that same message through the photo of the person looking at the photographer. The next thing is to use flash outdoors and watch the light. This was something that I had not thought about, but bright sun creates unattractive deep facial shadows. So to eliminate those shadows, you want to use a flash to lighten your model's face, even on sunny days. And if the person is within 5 feet, you want to still use the fill flash mode. And the beyond 5 feet, you want to use the full power mode. So a couple tips to remember.
I would say use that with caution. Sometimes they look washed out,
super bright and white.
Different, yeah.
Yeah. So usually what I do is I'll do like a couple versions. I'll do flash time, no flash, half flash, and then you can go back and search through your photos and see which looks best, different angles, different times of day. All of those things come into play. So.
Is that on your phone? There's a half flash.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we found one thing that the Androids have. No, just kidding.
Like Androids.
I don't think iPhones have that, do they? Half flash? No.
Maybe there's like a add-on.
We have the night mode
camera app.
The night mode kind of, you don't have to have a flash, but it looks lighter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. Lots of tools and features. Mm-hmm. Next thing you want to do is move in close. So if your subject is smaller than a car, take a step or two closer before taking the picture and zoom in a little bit on your subject to make sure it's focused. Right? Next is lock the focus. So bring your pictures to life by simply moving your subject away from the middle of your picture. This is also called the rule of thirds.
Yeah, rule of thirds, think of it as like a tic-tac-toe grid on your camera. And you don't want to be just right in the middle. You want to be kind of at the intersection of one of those grids. And I think you can actually, at least on the iPhone, turn on the grid and see that. And so it kind of guides you as you're taking the photo. Do you have that with? I
don't know if I have grids. I've never searched for anything like that, but I know I've heard of the rule of the thirds, a third of not center, but third of the way. And then even height wise too, don't go to the very top, but do a third from the top. So yeah, always in thirds.
We went to Hawaii recently and we were in this beautiful lush valley, where they shoot Jurassic Park movies and it was just so pretty. And it was the people were taking our pictures dead center. And I was and I took one of just my family and I took us on the far right. And then you could see all of the valley and even the ocean. Yes. It was so pretty.
And that's a much better picture.
Much better.
Yes. So remember those thirds. And then also make sure that your camera is on autofocus setting to make sure that your subject's not blurred. You don't want to come home and next thing you know, all those great photos you took are blurry. Next is use a plain background. A plain background shows the subject you are photographing. When you look through the camera viewfinder, force yourself to study the area surrounding your subject. Make sure no poles grow from the head of your favorite niece or that no cars seem to dangle from their ears. Okay, so check out all the background stuff and make sure it actually makes sense. And then finally, last thing from the Kodak recommendation is don't forget to take vertical pictures. Sometimes subjects are better when you take a vertical picture, so the next time you're traveling with your loved ones, make sure to turn your camera and try taking vertical photos as well as horizontals. We want to hear from you. Send us your financial questions or money topics that you'd like to learn more about, and don't forget any fun local food recommendations. Our email is ThePerfectBite@ccculv.com.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode brought to you by Clark County Credit Union. For additional money management tips and financial calculators, check out our website at ccculv.org. Now that was The Perfect Bite.